Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, Technical Trader. Tuesday night, December the 18th. These are the charts of the day at thetechtrader.com, all on the long side. What a fantastic day the market had today. Breakouts across the board. It sure looks like there's quite a bit of momentum. And of course, we're getting a little bit overbought, but we can maintain that for a while. But in any case, let's look at the charts I'm highlighting tonight. Starting off with 3D Systems, a company I know very well and I've been following for years. What a beautiful rising channel from the mid-teens into the low 50s over the last year, and it still looks like it's going higher. There's an awful lot of potential on this one for a move up to the top of the channel and around the 60-61 zone. That's my intermediate target, my short-term target, around 55.6. ELLI looks like it recovered back with a big snapback across the declining tops line and lateral price resistance that it's been unable to get above for 6-7 weeks now. Today's move coming on more than 1 million shares, breaks it back across the declining tops line and lateral resistance, and now it's free to test the 29.30 zone, which I am looking forward to see if we can get through. But at that point, we may see something in the low to mid 30s longer term. Hero, H-E-R-O, nice move today. If you take a look at the pattern, it cleanly broke out of a little pennant that it's been forming for a couple weeks, and through key lateral resistance, looking at the overall chart pattern, the highs from earlier in the year here and from October were broken out today. Minimum look is around 6.5 coming up, and then we get through that on a longer term basis. We could see, here's a weekly chart, a long base here. And if that's broken out, we can get it above, say, the 6.75, 6.5, 3/4 range. Let's say through 7. I'd be looking for 8 and then 9.5. Hovnanian home builders been really in a nice rising channel all year, as you can see, and the pattern basically looks like this. You've had a move that from the low single digits, about $1.60 all the way up to 6. But more importantly, today's action takes it out above this triangular type pattern across triple top resistance, and a move which follows through yesterday's pop, another 25 cents or 4.3%, 13 million shares. At this point, I'm looking for a move to the top of the channel, and that means we're going to get it up near 7, and then my secondary target would be 8. Now, KOG's up next. That's Kodiak Oil and Gas. You can see the declining channel for the last 6 weeks. That line was broken a few days ago. The stock then snapped back after failing at the 50, tested the moving averages, consolidated on lower volume, and today popped 28 cents to 3.13%, but volume increased to 6.4 million, and it looks like it's going to make a run at that 940 range, and then beyond that up around the 10 area, and then we can really get going. If you take a look at the long-term chart, a move across that 10.5, 3/4 zone could get this into the low mid-teens, maybe 13, 14 for starters. Mindspeed had a nice day today. Take a look at it, folks. You'll see that the pennant in here that formed over the last 2 weeks broke through cleanly and ran right up to my next target range at resistance around 635.6. If we get through here, the top of the channel up around 5 should be tested, but my secondary target's around 590 to 6, and beyond that even higher, around 6.5. So look for this stock to continue to move over the next few weeks, but in the meantime, it's developing a nice rising channel with technicals improving as well. RAX had a big day today. If you can see RAX, the October and November highs, double top here, was broken with a thrust today as it went from 68.5 to 73.36, closing at 72.44, up 389. That was a 5.7% increase. Volume surged to 3.6 million. And more importantly, I believe it's an all-time high. Let's take a quick look at the long-term chart. It is indeed. You can see the stock's been moving up for three years now. And at this point, if I don't miss my guess, we could be on our way up towards the first mid-80s and then high 90s. SIMO. I'm liking the way this is acting of late, particularly today when it popped 65 cents or 5%, and volume increased to 705,000. It doesn't sound like that much, but it's the biggest volume on an up day, and we're all the way back to September when it popped right here. Let's see if we get a follow-through. It's closed right at or just slightly a few cents above the declining 50, and took also out the declining trend line of the last several months, as well as the coiling type base pattern. If we follow through, we can get it up to 14, 14.10 or so. I think the stock's going to make it up towards 17. That's my trading target, up around the 17, 16.5, 17 zone. Symbolics, excuse me. I keep calling it symbolic. It's Smart Balance SMBL. There used to be an SMBL that was called symbolic years ago, I believe. Anyway, you can see how the stock ran from the June highs tested. We made a nice swing trade in here. It then ran up to higher levels, consolidated for 4 months, took a quick dip and snapped right back, then consolidated bullishly in this zone here above the $12 range, only to break out today, jumping to 13.5, closing 13.29, up 60 cents, nearly 5% gain, and nearly 1 million shares. That's the biggest volume in about 3 weeks. It looks to me like we've broken out. If you take a look at the all-time highs, you'll see that this stock has one high back in 07 at around 14, and that's my near-term target. Once we get through that, look for 17 as my secondary target. Up next is TASR, which has been acting great all year, at least since the lows in March and April when it was trading around just under 4. It's come up and more than doubled to 9, and then pulled back in a nice little coiling pattern. Today, that coil broke out with a pop of 81 cents or almost 11% on 1.6 million, which is also the best volume in about 3 weeks. At this point, I'm looking for a test of the high around 9.25, and then a run up just under the 10 level, perhaps would be my near-term target at the top of the channel for TASR. And lastly, today is USG, which we've twice recommended earlier and made nice money on a swing trade on it back in here and then back in here, or may have been here. But bottom line is you can see the long-term channel. You can see the recent coil and then the breakout yesterday with a nice follow-through session today. Up another 3.7%, 2.5 million shares. Now, the overall channel indicates that this could very well move into the 33-34 zone. That's my current swing trade target. And on a long-term basis, I'm looking for 40-45 zone on USG. Nice comeback this year and a beautiful overall chart pattern. That's it tonight, folks. Have a good evening.